Questo è elegante. Buena mangiata. Your jokes are different than my jokes. We sometimes run into a problem with that, don't we? Hey, hi. Here we are again in the Papa's kitchen. It's good to be back, of course. Right?
Yes. I don't know, I just did a big walk. I'm kind of like
tired. I know it.
Yeah.
I'm doing
big for me is not big for a lot of people, you know.
No,
that.
but what'd you do, 2 miles?
I did 2 miles this time, which I've been working myself up to. I'm not going to do more than 2 miles.
Well, now, don't say never,
That's it.
never.
No, no more.
Okay.
2 miles.
All right.
And this isn't a New Year's resolution. This is something I work on all the time. Otherwise, it would be a New Year's resolution every year. I know this is a couple months into the year.
Yeah.
But you got to keep redoing your New Year's resolution.
Well, and I'll tell you what, you do bring up a good point. This, I imagine right now, everybody's feeling like done, particularly up north. Done with winter, done with the snow, done with the cold,
get on with spring
and all that.
Yes.
And we're close, you're getting close. But we thought we'd do another soup for the beginning of the month here. And this one is a low carb. So this is really good. It's a low carb Tuscan soup. And I've done it before and I really like it.
I like it.
Yeah, I know you do. And it's really delicious. It's excellent, full of flavor and everything. Low carb does not mean no flavor. You can make good flavor because I'm going to use some great protein. You can use with this bacon, but I actually had some hog jowl left over. I'm going to use that instead of the bacon, and that's just going to be so good. I'm going to use an Italian sausage. I'm using cauliflower. I'm using some heavy cream, an onion, some red pepper flakes, some chicken stock, and I only eat it this way, kale greens, and I like it in a soup. I like it in a chili. We've done a lot of things.
Yeah, we'll add it to beanless chili.
Yeah. But if you're putting it on my salad, no, I don't like it that way.
Or sauteing it in the morning with
No. Don't even think about that.
That's okay. So low carb
unbiblical.
usually means more fat. That's where the flavor comes from.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where the flavor comes from.
Yes.
So if you're counting carbs, this is a good recipe for you. So
and it'll satisfy your taste buds and your stomach.
Totally will satisfy you. So, ready to get going?
Yes, we are.
All right, so what I want to do is I want to sort of prep everything, and I'll stop and start this video a little bit because you just don't need me to, you don't need to be watching me cutting up a cauliflower, for example. But the one thing you do want to do is take your bacon, or in this case, my hog jowl. You got about 4, 5, 6 slices. You can do whatever you want here. I like a little bit more meat. And I've only got a pound of Italian sausage, and it calls for a little bit over a pound, but this will make up for it. And I want to just get this in pieces like this. It's going to be so good. And I personally like it when in the middle of the soup, I come up across a nice piece of bacon or something like that, or in this case bacon or hog jowl. I don't like eating, I like, in other words, the texture that this provides as well as the taste is always the pleasant surprise when I'm eating soup. I'm not the biggest soup fan. Susan's dad, oh my goodness, that man loves soup. He couldn't have a meal without soup.
He loved, especially near the end of his life.
Yeah.
He just loved
he
soup.
really did. And I know a lot of you do the same and feel the same way. And so I have no problem with that at all.
Not because it's the end of their life.
Oh gosh, no. So anyhow, so what you want to do is, let me stop right there and get things sort of organized. I want to chop my onion for you, get this open up, and then I'll show you how we're going to put it all together. Okay, now we're back. I sort of got onion cut up. I'm going to still chop the cauliflower down, but I took the head off of the stems and all that. I've got my sausage ready to go here in just a second. Susan's coughing like crazy. She must have swallowed something funny. But what I am going to do on my hot pot, I'm going to start by browning the bacon, or in this case, my hog jowl, for about 5 minutes. I want it to render and want it to get nice. I don't want it real crispy, but I do want it cooked and somewhat, looking not only cook, but rendered. And by the way, you can actually do this same recipe in an Instapot. I just didn't do it that way because I don't know how many people that are viewing have Instapots and they might turn off, but easily to do it. I mean, where you saute and all this, and you're gonna cook things, obviously you're gonna cook a little less. I'll try to put an Instapot modified recipe in there. I do know on the Instapot you don't need, I think it calls for in the Instapot 6 cups of chicken stock. With this, you're going to need 7 probably, so you're going to have to do a little bit more when you do it this way on the stove top.
I would think it'd be the other way around.
Yeah, you would think, but I don't think it's true. If I remember the recipe correctly, so I'll look and make sure. But you want to render that for about 5 minutes.
I kind of missed it, but did you say that this meat has more flavor than bacon?
Yeah, it got a little bit more salt, so I won't need to add as much salt. Salt and pepper, you know, pepper I will of course, but into the soup itself. It's going to render a little bit differently than bacon does. And it'll probably produce, because it is a little fattier, it'll produce a little bit more oil at the bottom when everything's said and done. I just keep it stirred every once in a while to make sure things are moving along, as we say. And then really I just want about 4 cups, I think it is, of this cauliflower. And it's a good head. You can use, by the way, if you have it, I probably have some in the freezer, some frozen
rice.
No, not rice, but some frozen cauliflower florets or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. Whatever you choose. I like the fresh, tend to like the fresh. Just bought this yesterday.
Yeah, but I read that sometimes frozen can be, have more vitamins in it than fresh.
Did you?
Because they freeze it fresh.
Oh yeah, well that's true too.
And so this, you never know where it came from. Now we did buy this at a local produce place.
Yeah.
So it probably is more fresh.
Yeah.
That's interesting about frozen though.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And once this is rendered, what you're going to want to do is take a slotted spoon and pull out the pieces, of course. And then the other thing that you're going to do is you can then take away, spoon out, if it feels like to you it's excess grease down in there, fat down in there. You definitely want about, for the next step, which is going to be sauteing the onions and the garlic and all, you definitely want at least about a tablespoon, maybe even 2. I probably won't do much because I sort of like the fat. That's me.
Whoop. You're getting popcorn bacon
going crazy
here
on me here, eh? So
good. So we gotten any questions from people?
You know what? Somebody asked the other day, what am I currently reading or whatever, and I can tell you that, but I had an idea because this video is coming out near the end of winter, beginning of spring, and what happens is maybe some of you are getting ready to see grandchildren or even children. Oh, sorry, did it hit you? Oh, sorry. Okay, and that's good enough right there. We're gonna top that right off. Let me get my slotted spoon. You're probably thinking about what you can get a grandchild or even a child
for graduation.
And I'll give you a really good idea. Susan, hold up that book.
I know, the parenting book.
No, this is even better than that. Well, this is more appropriate, I should say. I probably do have a little bit more. Hang on with the book thing. I probably do have a little bit more fat than I really want, so I'm going to spoon a little bit of it out of here as well.
That was a joke, by the way.
Oh, I know it was. I knew you were joking. Your jokes are different than my jokes. You sometimes run into a problem with that, don't you?
We do. I don't know if anybody has trouble communicating, but even after 48 years, I'll explain something to him and he takes it
seriously.
Totally the wrong way.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's going to be good enough. I don't even think I'm going to put anything up. Now I'm going to actually put my onions in. I'm going to lower the temperature here a little bit. and I'll put my onions in and let them cook for a few minutes until they get translucent, soft. And then I'll add some garlic and cook it for another minute or so. And then we'll put the sausage in. So everything's moving along like it should be. This stuff is so good.
You're always eating your stuff.
I know it. Love it. Anyhow, it's always a hard thing to know what to give people. I have been giving my grandkids, when they turn 16, particularly the boys, I find it works the best, actually, not the girls. I haven't, I do something else for them. But on the boys, there's a book, old book, by a guy named James Allen, and it's called As A Man Thinketh. And it's just a great little book. It's not big, it's not thick or anything like that. Nobody's gonna put it away, but it makes, when you're reading it, it's just in a little epigraphs, really, is what he does. But his idea here is, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. It's not really a Christian book as you would think of it. There's no verses or anything like that in there, but it is a good approach to how you have to live with integrity, and how you live with thinking through things, and how you set the tone of the rest of your life. And you know, when a child gets about 16 or even 17, 18, when they're getting ready to graduate, move into a whole new phase of life, you want to give them, I think you want to give them something that challenges them a little bit to think differently than they've ever thought. And this book will do exactly that. And I think you'll be appreciated for thinking of them this way. I think they really will. You can always, when you give a book, what I encourage you to do on a book, don't just send it to them all. And sometimes I do, because my kids live so far away.
But you still put a note in it.
I'll still put a note, even when I order on Amazon. Or once I do see them again, I'll ask them to go get the book, and I'll write in it.
That's right.
But if you are giving a book personally, always make sure on the cover page or somewhere on the beginning that you write a personal note to the individual and date it. Very, very, not only etiquette wise, but it really is powerful to be able to look back as a young man, and even once grandparents maybe have died or gone on, whatever, passed on, they can look at that and go, wow, this is what they thought and gave me when I was 16 or when I was 18 or whatever the case. Very important. So anyhow, get my cauliflower ready, and then I did buy, instead of kale on the stem, I got the stemless, so it's all the leaves, but I still am going to chop it, and I need about 4.
You don't use the whole bag, right?
No, I won't need the whole bag. We'd be over kale if we did that. It's going to be a good soup for us, though, tonight, Sue. You're going to love this.
Oh, I guess I'm like my dad.
You're like your dad. Yeah, you really are. You love the soup. So, zuppa.
I don't like broth as much as something wet in it, you know.
Yeah, well, me too. And I'm going to maybe make some rolls or something with this tonight. And there's the carbs back, but that's what it is.
Well, that's what life is.
That's what it is. It's a trade-off, yeah. But you can do other things, that's for sure. If you don't want rolls or carbs, you can, a lot of ways to skin that cat. Oh, it's going to be so good. And I like just a little bit of chunks in there. I'm telling you, when you get to it, it's really, really good. Great. Now then, let's just make sure that this is going good. Needs a little bit more. Keep this up a little bit. There we go.
Okay, can I come back?
Yeah, we can come back here in just a second and I'll be ready. Okay, so what I've done is I've got my onions somewhat brown. They start to brown. I added 1 teaspoon of garlic, minced garlic. And by the way, I didn't actually mince myself. I had a little bit in a jar left over. I use that. Doing it in a soup like this in a jar is just perfectly fine, so don't worry. And I've cooked that for about 1 or 2 minutes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze in Italian sausage. And the reason you want to be careful with this is you want to brown it, but you want to take time. Do not rush this part of the recipe, because the browning is what adds the flavor in a wonderful way. So use a wooden spoon, if you're using a cast iron like I am or whatever, and crush that down and get that all mixed in with the onions, and let that sausage just brown beautifully. And don't do cheap sausage with this. Get a good Italian sausage. And by the way, don't use breakfast sausage or something. Get a good Italian, because it's already somewhat seasoned and it's going to add even better flavors. So that's sort of the idea behind what to do here with this.
All right.
So are you watching this?
I am.
Okay.
Yep, we're watching. But I was looking up the book.
Oh.
That now this wouldn't be necessarily to share with your kids, but there's an author I have really enjoyed. His name is Charles Martin.
Oh.
And they're novels, but I think he is a priest or was a priest at one time or something. But anyway, his books are just really interesting. And he's a
what are they
great
about?
writer. Well, he wrote one that had to do with down here in Florida. It was all the, he went down the intercoastal. He lived up in Port St. Lucie area or even more north.
Okay.
And he was undercover, but worked finding trafficking boats that were trying to take girls away.
Oh, how long ago would this be?
This is a novel. It's not,
it's a novel.
Yeah, it's not a novel.
Got it.
But he writes like he actually, he's just such a good writer. And there are 3 books in the series. And I'll try to find the...
Well, look at for that and for at least one of those from that Charles fella.
Yeah.
And this one by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. We'll put the link description box for you to Amazon.
Yeah, these are available audio and Kindle.
Yeah.
And then to get the book too. So
Good.
I've got one book, and I must have given it away. I can't find it anywhere. But I'm good at that. I get a book and then I like it and then I give it to somebody else to read. But they're really, really good. I kind of like mysteries and something that's going to hold my attention.
Yeah. That's neat. And then once this is browned, what we're going to do then is we're going to add the chopped cauliflower and the chicken stock. I'm going to add, I'm not going to measure, but I'm going to add a pinch of red pepper flakes, and you can vary that. I'm going to add some salt and fresh ground pepper, and I'm going to add the cooked bacon, or in my case, the hog jaw back in. And I'm going to let this soup come to a boil. And then I'm going to reduce the heat, once that's done, to a medium-low kind of heat. And I'm going to simmer it for 20 to 25 minutes or so. And that's the part that obviously would go a lot quicker if you're using the Instapot. You can set, in fact, I know what to do there, is once you add all that, set your pressure to 2 minutes on high pressure, 2 minutes, and then let it run its course. And once it's done and you get a beep, then do a quick release. And then the rest are the steps that we are going to do here, but you would have it done a little bit quicker that way. As far as adding the kale then after that, and you add a little bit of the heavy cream and stuff like that. But this is going to be good. But what you do want to do is you want to keep it simmering until the cauliflower that you put in is done to your liking. Some people like it really, really soft. Some people like a little bit more chunky, or whatever the case may be. You do what you want to do. So there you go. That's ready to go. I'm going to dump back in my hog jaw, my bacon stuff right here. I'm going to put in my cauliflower, and I've got about 4 cups there, a little bit more maybe. Well, I hope I don't run out of room here. I'm going to put in my chicken stock. I don't know, we'll see.
The kale cooks down.
Yeah, kale will cook down. Then that doesn't come till later. There, and I need actually 2 more. I'm going to do at least 2 more, maybe 3 more of my chicken broth. I used some of my own, but I only had about 3 cups of my own, and the rest was frozen. So I grabbed a box out of the pantry. There's 2. I'm going to go 2.5 on this, right about there, instead of the full 7 of what maybe the recipe calls for. And I'm gonna add that in there. And we're gonna let this come to a boil. And and I want my red pepper flakes, a little bit of my red pepper flakes. And I'm going to also do some salt and pepper.
Looks good.
Oh, it smells good already.
I remember this soup. It was so good.
Oh, this was an outstanding, and I haven't done it for a long time. And
way before you were filming.
Yeah, long before I was filming. And I'm going to stir that, and I'm going to bring this all up to a boil. That's just about as easy as you can get. Honestly, once you've got everything prepared like we did, this is, except for letting it simmer now for a while, it's a very quick and easy soup. It's not like you got to stand over the hot stove or anything like that. You're just going to let this go crazy here. So let me bring this up so we can get it to boiling.
Okay.
And then we'll come back to you. Now, not only did we bring it to a boil, we not only did that, but we then have let it simmer for about 20 minutes, and it's just like I want it, really. And now what I'm going to do is add the kale. By the way, I wanted to show you, if you do buy just regular kale, it's going to have the stem. Well, just take and cut or tear off the stem if you want, and don't use that. About 4 cups of kale, and you really want to cook this until the kale is at the level you like. Some like it a little more bitey, if you would, and where they feel it, or others like it a little more less bitey, I guess you can say, cooked a little bit longer. But you're going to go here now in that simmering. You're going to go for about another, about 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes, and let that get all incorporated in there. And then the last thing we're going to do here, in fact, I'm going to just add just a little bit more kale. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to add the heavy cream, a cup of heavy cream. But let me tell you, you don't want to add the cream if this is boiling. You just don't want to do that. So you let it come down to a simmer. Yeah, there, you can take that piece out maybe or something. There you go. Let me just watch what I got. That's good enough right there. Just wanted a little bit more kale. Now, if I was making this for one of my brothers, he doesn't do kale and he doesn't do cauliflower. So
well, he may like it.
He wouldn't like either thing on here, would he?
In the soup, yeah.
The taste is outstanding, let me tell you, with that
like
Italian
he doesn't
sausage.
like it in a salad.
Yeah. But anyhow, I think this is going to be just really good. And again, it looks like there's pasta in there, but there's none. That's the cauliflower, and that just makes this thing really good. So we're going to let this cook now for about 10-12 minutes. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to add a cup of heavy cream, and then this soup is done. And by the way, you do this, you're going to start talking Italian. I promise. You'll start to be talking like this, and you'll move in your hands and everything else if you eat this soup, even if you're not Italian.
Although a real Tuscan one would probably have pasta in it.
I bet, but this is low carb, remember?
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Good. All right. It's been about 10-12 minutes. My kale is cooked exactly like I want it. Looks really good. And it's soft like I like it. And now what I'm going to do, I'm making sure this isn't boiling. I'm going to add in the cream. And in fact, let me get my new ladle, by the way, that my wife bought me for Christmas. Ooh. And I just want to cook it long enough here to make sure that this is incorporated and it's heated thoroughly, or through, because that cream is cold, came right out of the fridge. Now that, my folks and friends, is a beautiful Tuscan soup. And I'm telling you, you're going to love it. You are going to love it. Oh, doesn't it look good, Sue?
Great, yes.
Oh my gosh.
It brings back a lot of memories of a good soup.
Yeah. And honestly, it's not that hard to make. It's just really sort of...
That's what impressed us before.
Yeah, it really did. I remember that. And I'll tell you what impressed us too was the
we said right
taste.
then we're going to add more kale.
Yeah.
Kale really cooks down. All those greens do.
Yeah.
Looks wonderful.
Looks
babe.
good. All right. let it cook just for a few moments to make sure it's all heated nicely.
Okay,
the cream
then
is,
we'll taste it.
and then you and I are going to taste it.
We
Yep.
actually get to taste it?
Yes, we do.
Oh, wait.
No, that's your spoon down there.
Oh, I
This
thought
is
you were
mine.
going to feed me.
No. Oh. Oh my goodness. You're going to like this. Oh, isn't that just delicious?
That's really good.
Yeah.
I need some
This is
kale
really
in
good.
there.
Oh, get some, try some. That's good, folks. You've got to try it.
I love
You
it.
will just love it.
Hearty soup.
Just love it.
A hearty soup.
Yeah. So anyhow, look at, I'm not actually given to it,
What?
but this is how you would say it. I looked up Google Translate.
Oh, what's
This
that?
is how you would say this. Esto es excelente. Buena mangiata. Ciao. Oh.
There you go.
And you know what that means? This is excellent. Good eating. Bye.
It's like French bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Yeah, well.
Mwah.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Enjoy it, folks. Try it.